So what is the strongest ultimate move in the Akatsuki in terms of sheer destructive power? Look, I won't waste y'all's time going over all of them. It really only comes down to Pain's Chaotic Shinra Tensei and Deidara's ultimate art, the C0. And that's exactly what we'll be answering today. But before we do, I want to ask you guys to please like this video and subscribe. It really does help out a lot. Anyway, let's get into this. So, first things first, this video isn't really about which move is more dangerous, useful, overpowered, or whatever. There won't be any hacks involved, it's just purely about AP and destructive capacity. That is all. I guess the best way to do this is set the stage for both moves and what they can do. Let's start things off with Deidara's C0, shall we? C0 is Deidara's ultimate jutsu. Unlike his regular clay bombs that need chakra from his mouth or palms, this jutsu uses chakra needed directly from his heart, which allows for more chakra to be infused, and doesn't stop needing until the explosion goes off, vaporizing everything in the vicinity, including the caster's very soul in the process. So basically, it's a suicide bomb that uses every ounce of chakra Deidara has in order to release his undisputed strongest bomb. But how strong is it, really? Well, I'm glad you asked. C0 creates a gargantuan explosion that covers a 10-kilometer radius. For those who can't do math like me, that's a diameter of 20 kilometers. Goes without saying that this is absolutely massive. For context, the most powerful nuclear bomb in human history, the Tsar Bomba, only had an 8-kilometer wide fireball at its maximum. C0 was calculated around 5.4 teratons of TNT, making it over 100,000 times more powerful than the Tsar Bomba, which sits at a measly 50 megatons. Credit to my good friend Arc7 Koroi for the C0 calc. So yeah, the numbers for C0 are no joke. But look, calcs are fun and all, but what about C0's strength from a pure in-universe scaling perspective? Even there, it packs a mighty punch. So Deidara has a basic unnamed bomb that can knock out the three tails. So even Deidara's regular bombs can potentially reach up to Biju level. That is impressive. Naturally, bombs such as C2 should be even stronger than an unnamed bomb like the one he used against Isubu, but at the very least, C3 should be, as it's very blatantly his strongest non-C0 bomb from a sheer AP and DC perspective. And as we covered earlier, C0 is his absolute strongest move, making it even stronger than C3 by a fair bit. So after going over everything, C0 sets well above Biju level by a fair bit, since we have C0 being far greater than C3, and C3 being far greater than the random fish bomb, which was Biju level as we established. This is consistent because just C0's blast wave, not even the full blast, was enough to kill Manda, who scales to Gamabunta, who's Biju level. So yeah, even pure scaling wise, C0 is pretty nuts, even when being somewhat conservative since we didn't account for C2 in the scaling chain. Now, moving on to Pain's ultimate move. For those who don't know, Chaotic Shinra Tensei is a fan term generally used to refer to the maximum output Shinra Tensei that Pain used to destroy Konoha. So how is it any different from the regular Shinra Tensei? Well, the basic gist is that Nagato deactivates all the other paths of Pain and focuses all of his chakra solely on Tendo. This basically increases the Diva Path's jutsu output dramatically, making this version vastly superior to regular Shinra Tensei by a long shot. Not only is it vastly more powerful, but its effective range is also much larger. This jutsu is so powerful and draining that it literally shortens Nagato's lifespan, which none of his other jutsu were stated to do, not even Chibaku Tensei. So how strong are we talking here exactly? Well, honestly, CST is kinda slept on heavily, I won't lie. Most people chalk it up to being simply a town level jutsu and that's it, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Chaotic Shinra Tensei was powerful enough to turn Konoha in its entirety into a pretty deep crater. Why is this crazy? Well, allow me to introduce y'all to the Forest of Death size meta for Konoha. For those unaware, the Forest of Death is a large circular forest located on the outskirts of Konoha. The forest in question has a radius of 10 kilometers, giving it a total diameter of 20 kilometers. Sound familiar, eh? And for those skeptical about the Forest of Death being that close to Konoha, it's a large circular forest with a river running through it that's stated to be right on the outskirts of Konoha. I think it's pretty safe to assume that the forests depicted in these panels are meant to be the Forest of Death. Thanks once again to Arc, we have a calc placing Konoha's size at roughly 62 kilometers using the FOD as a point of reference, which makes Pain's feat utterly absurd when you think about it. Even if we ignore this calc and just sort of eyeball it, Konoha still ends up being larger than a 20 kilometer wide forest. But the insanity doesn't stop there. When we look at this jutsu from an inverse scaling perspective, it gets even crazier. So first off, I want to establish something real quick. Pain's power and output is extremely variable, but what affects his power exactly? Two factors are in play here. One is the distance the bodies are from Nagato, aka how far away they are from the source. You see, Nagato sends his chakra to the pains in the form of signals, and as you all know, the closer you are to the source, the stronger the signal. This is why Pain had to get closer to Nagato to use Chaotic Tensei, as he was low on chakra at that point and needed more power. Now, the second factor is the number of bodies active at any time. Once again, this is a simple principle. The more bodies that are active, the more Nagato has to divide up his chakra among them. So the less bodies there are, the stronger his output through Pain gets. Simple stuff, right? Now, to establish how powerful CST can really get, we have to establish how powerful a regular Shinra Tensei can get. So after the CST, Pain was left extremely weakened, right? His power took a while to come back, but keep in mind that even after the CST, Nagato himself was left in an extremely bad shape for the remainder of the fight, as he used up too much chakra. So even though Tendo's abilities did return in the end, he still wasn't at 100% exactly. Why is this all relevant? Because even in this compromised state, his Shinra Tensei was able to send Gamabunta flying miles away and literally break all of his bones. So even a weakened Pain can dish out a Shinra Tensei capable of one-shotting a Biju level character like Gamabunta, and even Gamaken, who's stated to be equal to Bunta, using the same attack. So basically the scaling chain for CST is as follows. Max output Shinra Tensei is far greater than full power Tendo's regular Shinra Tensei, which in turn is greater than weakened Pain's regular Shinra Tensei, which is far greater than Gamabunta, who's roughly relative to Biju level. Absolutely insane stuff. So yeah, both jutsu are absolutely ridiculous, I can't lie, dude. Both have scaling chains well above Biju level. I think both should be fairly stronger than a standard uncharged Biju bomb, to be honest, because those were shown to not completely one-shot Biju level characters, unlike these two attacks. So yeah, they're both dummy strong, man, but which one stands on top? Now, if you ask me personally, I think the CST not only has a better scaling chain in my opinion, but it also arguably has better range as it created a deeper crater over a larger area of effect. So while it is pretty close and rather debatable, I do favor Pain's jutsu here ever so slightly. But what do you guys think? Let me know which one you think is stronger between these two big booms in the comment section down below. And that about covers that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please check out my other videos. And have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time.